Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace be upon you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share some of my thoughts regarding the Israeli genocide and occupation of Palestine and the regime's current efforts to fully consolidate its hold on Palestinian territories. In many ways, it is not something unexpected, at least in terms of Israel wanting to wipe out Palestinians and at the same time wipe Palestine off the map. However, despite efforts by Israel and its Western backers, from their governments to their media, to compartmentalize the current crisis as one sparked off by Hamas attacks on October the 7th, the rest of the world are fully aware that the attacks are at best an attempt to retaliate against the decades of genocide and atrocities committed by Israel. In many ways, the creation of Hamas and its retaliation and even its existence is a direct result of Israel's genocide and the tacit endorsement from the West, in particular the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, for those who support Israel, what do they expect from the Palestinians who had witnessed their grandparents, parents, children and babies murdered, raped, tortured, imprisoned and stripped of their dignity? Making it worse, global powers which wear morality and humanity on their sleeves turn a blind eye, or rather, in most instances, support, provide arms and fund and extend military backing. The atrocities committed on the Palestinians are generational, meaning that it had been committed on one generation to the next. They were witness to the inhumane treatment perpetrated on those before them, then for them to be subjected to such dehumanizing acts, then to again be witness of such cruelties committed on their next generation. Ladies and gentlemen, I know I'm repeating myself and that of others, but it has to be made clear that Israel is an occupier and Palestine is the occupied. It is not too difficult a concept to understand. Any occupier is evil, and the occupied, when they stand up against the occupiers, are heroes, liberating, and they are freedom fighters. Do not forget Nelson Mandela, Ho Chi Minh, Subhash Chandra Bose, Che Guevara, Michael Collins, Jose Rizal, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and even Malaysia's Malay nationalists. They were labeled rebels and terrorists and were killed or subjected to the worst kind of atrocities by the occupiers and colonialists. But upon the independence of their nations, they were heralded as heroes and liberators of their land. Ladies and gentlemen, what Palestine and in fact the rest of the world is seeing is a new round of colonialism. If we watch closely, what had happened to Iraq, Afghanistan, and even Ukraine is colonialism or their proxies at work. Invasions and aggressions are justified as efforts to counter terrorism and militancy, but we know they were mere camouflage to hide their lust for oil and territory apart from their love for war. The West, the US, and its lapdog ally, the United Kingdom, lie and misled their people into supporting their wars. The lie about the weapons of mass destruction is testimony to the extent of their deception and propaganda to justify their aggression, and the results were the murders of millions of innocent Iraqis. Without remorse or shame, new leaders who had taken over the rule of these belligerent nations now support Israel's genocide of Palestinians and inevitably Israel's effort to take over whatever is left of the Palestinian land. Simply put, the US and UK and their Western backers are assisting Israel to conclude their colonization of Palestine. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been asked, surely the leaders of US and UK, leading nations of democracy and human rights, could not be that evil in their considerations. I cannot fathom their inner thoughts, but I can assess what they do, and I do believe that they are only concerned with democracy and human rights if and when it serves their interests. We have to understand that these leaders inherit nations that were founded on colonialism or seizure of other people's land. The United Kingdom thrived on colonialism, and they gave up their colonies not from the goodness of their hearts. Hence, the behavior of their leaders, including one whose forefathers were victims of British colonialism, continues to be that of colonialists. The US is definitely a settlers' colony in which Native Americans were ethnically cleansed by the settlers. What the US settlers did to the Native Americans are no different than that being committed by the Israelis on the Palestinians. The UK government, though merely a lapdog of the US, have delusions of the glory of their colonial past. Hence, its preparedness to see genocide being committed on a people without any compassion. What is being committed is merely an extension or replication of what it used to inflict upon the peoples living in their empire. As for Israel, it is a colonial settler, and with the US, UK, and other former imperialist nations supporting it, commits the worst kind of crimes against humanity, wantonly and with impunity. Each and every one of them has had blood on their hands, and they now lust for more. Thank you.